So I want to talk a little bit about a few different forms of political advertising in the next couple of videos here. And one key kind of framework to think about political advertising that really helps is thinking about earned and paid media, like we talked about back with PR. And earned media, when it comes to political campaigns, they sometimes call it free media, really predominantly consists of news coverage. And just like earned media, as we talked about in PR, that news coverage is more credible because it's not coming directly from the candidate themselves, but also involves a lot less control. And news coverage to a candidate can be absolutely disastrous to a campaign, potentially. So there's much more risk reward in political campaigns to earned media than there is even in other types of PR or strategic communication. And earned media is abundant in presidential elections, especially once you get to the general. Trump and Clinton in 2016, neither of them were lacking for any earned media. They had all the earned media they wanted, and often were trying to kind of, especially in Clinton's case, keep some of it at bay. But as you get smaller and smaller in elections, that earned media becomes more and more scarce because there are just fewer news outlets that are covering the campaign. And that starts to be where paid advertising comes more into play. Of course, it's in play at every level. But it becomes especially essential where there isn't as much earned media. And just like we talked about with paid media in earlier in the semester, this is less credible because it's coming from the campaign. It's a political ad. Everybody sees a political ad and rolls their eyes or changes a channel or whatever. But there's absolute control here. So political advertising, especially on television, is extremely expensive. There are other means that are cheaper, like mailings and social media ads, but on TV especially, they constitute a very high barrier to entry. This is essentially what keeps normal people running for office, is the incredibly high cost of the amount of advertising it takes to really make the public aware of you and to get them out to vote for you. So I want to talk about three different forms of political ads, one in this video and two in the next. The first is an image ad, and the image ad is really just meant to introduce a candidate to the public and to create particular types of associations for that candidate, to really try to associate them with institutions and values that they think that voter base might identify with and get the most broadly respected institutions and values. And this is particularly important when the candidate is not very well known and often, when they're not an incumbent. So here's an example of an image ad by Bob Hugin, who is running for Senate in New Jersey.
Bob Hugin grew up in Hudson County, a Marine officer, a proven job creator, a different kind of Republican. Today, Bob Hugin runs for the Senate.
I think people are too focused on what's best for their party as opposed to what's right for the people. I'm an independent person. I'm going to make independent decisions. It doesn't matter whether it's this occupant or any future occupant of the White House. I will stand up strongly and oppose any position from anyone that is not in the best interests of New Jersey. I'm Bob Hugin, and I approve this message.
So you can see here that in Hugin's case, he's creating associations with the Marines as a job creator. He actually owns a giant runs a giant biotechnology company, and so associated with job creating. But he's also trying to do some distancing here. He talks about himself as not your typical Republican, as independent, as willing to stand up for what is right, no matter who's in the Oval Office. And so clearly, this is an ad by a Republican running in a state where Republicans are not very popular. So he's creating this association with himself to widely respected institutions, but he's also trying to distance himself from the Republican Party in order to try to win as a Republican in a state that pretty much always votes democratically. So those are the kind of dances that politicians are often playing in image ads. One remarkable example of an image ad is Hillary Clinton's campaign announcement for the 2016 campaign. So let me show you. It's a little bit longer, so I'm just going to show you the first little bit of it.
I'm getting ready for a lot of things. A lot of things.
It's spring, so we're starting to get the gardens ready, and my tomatoes are legendary here in my own neighborhood.
My daughter is about to start kindergarten next year, and so we're moving just so she can belong to a better school.
Mi hermano y yo estamos empezando un primer negocio.
After 5 years of raising my children, I am now going back to work.
So you can get a sense there of where it is. And what's remarkable about this ad is that it's an image ad to sort of introduce Hillary Clinton, but Hillary Clinton doesn't appear until the very, very end of the fairly long video. And of course, this was a unique case where the candidate needs no introduction. Nobody needs to be sort of made aware of who Hillary Clinton is and what she's about. So instead, she kind of devotes her image and introduction ad to sort of introducing kind of an idea of America that she wants to be associated with and that she wants her campaign to be about. And so this was really a notable image ad at the time because it was so different than your typical image ad structure. But that would be the example of the type of tack that you would take for an image ad when the candidate is very well known and when the candidate's biography for many voters might actually be a liability. You kind of take the focus off of yourself and just focus on the associations that you want to make, in this case with average Americans from all walks of life.